Monday, week 6. We will start with number 1. It's an honor to meet you, Mr. King, Josh said. Taking a quick look at it, Josh said at the end. That lets us know we have a speaker tag, so we want to put quotations around what Josh said, and he said, it's an honor to meet you, Mr. King. So now we have to ask ourselves, what about commas, periods, all those good things? Well, when the speaker tag's at the end, you take the statement and you put a comma after the last word, still inside the quotation mark. So I put a little comma right there. Okay, and that gives us the proper quotation there for the speaker tag. And we definitely want to check and make sure everything else is correct in the sentence. One thing that we do need is we need an and. It's an honor. Whenever you have honor, you want to go with an, okay, because it has that vowel sound there, honor. Even though it doesn't start with a vowel, the H is silent. So it's an honor to meet you, Mr. King, comma, Josh said, and then a period at the end. Number 2, Lori didn't have no traffics on her drive home, so she arrived early. Let's capitalize Lori. Lori didn't have no. Now, why does that not sound right? It's because there's a double negative. It should be Lori didn't have any. Whenever you have a double negative, that means whatever you're saying becomes positive. That would imply that she did have traffic. If you say didn't have no traffic, that would imply that she did have traffic. So Lori didn't have any traffic, and obviously it's not traffic, it's traffic. Lori didn't have any traffic on her drive home, comma, so she arrived early. Notice the comma's in the wrong space. We need it after home, not after so. So she arrived early, and put a period at the end. And that'll be good for number 2. Number 3, underline the subject. In a hole under the bridge, the children found a magic lantern. So what is the subject of that sentence? Who did what? Well, if you look at it, in a hole under the bridge, that is not an independent clause. So that's not really going to have our subject and verb that we need. The children found a magic lantern is what we're looking at. So who did what? Well, the children are the one that found the lantern. So children would be our subject. 4 and 5 are correcting run-ons, which we've been doing in class, working with compound sentences. Number 4, Tony finished her homework at the library, then she went home. Now, since it says correct the run-ons, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to form a compound sentence. We could put the period, after library, and then say then she went home, but that doesn't really sound too good. So we can do a couple things. We could say Tony finished her homework at the library, kind of have a cause and effect there, so then she went home. You could say that, or get rid of then and say, so she went home. That would be fine. Or you could keep then, and instead of a comma, you could go with the semicolon and then have then she went home. That too would work and would be acceptable. For number 5, Bob waited for the bus in the snowstorm. He was shivering and shaking. Okay, so what are we going to do there? Well, he waited for the bus in the snowstorm. That's an independent clause there. We could say he waited for the bus in the snowstorm and he was shivering and shaking. That sounds okay. That's not too bad. You could get kind of crazy with it. You could say maybe something like this. You could really change it around. You could say shivering and shaking. Introduce the sentence that way. And then you could say Bob waited for the bus in the snowstorm. Again, there really are several options that you can do to correct run-on sentences. That's just another option you could have. It doesn't make it a compound sentence, but it didn't say it had to be a compound sentence. Okay, so that is all for Monday, week 6. Go ahead, turn your paper over, and write down one thing you learned, and we will discuss it.